You're listening to the Game Tenants Podcast.
What's up, and welcome to the Game Tenants Podcast, the failed adventures of two gamers and their quest for Gamecast stardom. This is episode 66, and I am Church of the Game Grinder, and as always, joined by my awesome co-host, Justin, aka Cardboard Zero.
I'm a cardboard box, y'all. Zero, I don't know why I put that there. It just sounded cool, because I'm a cool kid on the internet. What
Absolutely. What is up, man?
How is everyone doing out there in podcast land? Great, thanks for asking. This week we are going to do a little more, again, like a little more free flow. News is light lately, a lot of rumors or a lot of talk about different things, but so we're going to talk about some stuff we want to talk about, and you're going to listen because that's how we roll. But before I get into that, I'm going to share some bad news with the listeners. This is going to be my last podcast with Church here, and it is what you're thinking. I hate them, and this podcast sucks. I don't want nothing to do with it anymore.
No, I don't blame you, man.
Just kidding. I kid. No soup for you. No, my life has become a little more busy. I picked up a second job and all that, so free time has become a luxury for me, both for podcasting and for even my gaming. So just to make it easier on myself, and so I don't have to keep worrying Church when we're like, oh, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do this? Like, maybe when I get some sleep. So It's been a lot of fun. I love talking about games. I love bitching about Nintendo. And I met some cool people that I now talk to on Facebook from this. So all in all, it's been a positive experience and beneficial. So I hope Church has had as much fun having me on as I've had being on.
Absolutely, man.
And it's not like you're never going to hear me again. I might, be like, oh, hey, you want to join up again? For an episode here and there. Yeah, sure. Why, if I have the time, why not? So you guys can hear me bitch about Nintendo for an hour and completely overshadow the entire podcast because Nintendo never runs out of things to bitch about. So.
Right.
But with that, we're going to talk about some game streaming service drama going on the internet. And we're going to talk about some of the first quarter game releases that we're excited about and that might be even on the way for some of us this week. So, and of course, we'll do our retro highlight and finish up with the questions we asked all three of you.
Yes.
So with that out of the way, on to the good stuff. The juice is definitely worth the squeeze. Church, how the hell have you been and what have you been up to?
I have been excellent. I'm usually pretty excellent for the most part. Although today's kind of been a weird day. Had a migraine. Toughened through it.
Boo.
Yeah, weird. I usually don't get migraines, and what's kind of odd is my fiance also had a pretty bad headache today. So double check my CO detectors and everything, and they seem to be good. So just some weird fluke. I can't imagine food causes headaches, but we both had Chinese food last night. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Weird.
Much MSG? Could be.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be.
I feel bad for you and people like you that I think I've experienced a migraine once in my life. I don't know if it was or it was just like a really intense, but I mean, I was even sensitive to light one time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've gotten bad headaches, but never to the point where people explain. So I feel bad when you say I had a migraine because I don't get it. I just don't.
Honestly, I always thought what I was getting before, every once in a while would be like a migraine. It seemed like it's every few months or some crazy weather shift.
Okay.
But compared to today, I question because today, especially earlier, I was at work and it just felt like somebody took a serrated knife and shoved it into my skull above my eyebrow and kind of would wiggle it every few seconds. Basically what it felt like. Sensitivity to light. I didn't want to hear things. I didn't want to talk to people. Fortunately, when it started getting really bad, it's when I head back to my office and I kind of do email and phone support for a while because I do tech support, and I ended up leaving work early, and I came home and slept for like 4 hours, which is surprising. I was like, I figured with like a pounding headache or a migraine, like sleep wouldn't be the easiest thing to do. I was out. But it was interesting. But besides that, things are pretty good. Been cranking out more games. I'm off to a running start with 2019. I will just for funsies, mostly because of like the YouTube thing, and especially last year, I made like the games I played in 2017 video, which I'm planning on doing again this year soon. So I keep track of what I finish, and I finished 44 games last year, which is up quite a bit. The previous year, I think I only beat 24 games, but at the same time, I've kind of been like a little bit more low key on like the YouTube stuff, so I haven't been doing as many reviews like I used to. So I think that freed up a lot of time for more video games, but it is what it is. But since the last episode, finished a few games and just kind of wanted to touch on those real quick. First one I played or completed after the podcast was Deracine, which is a PSVR game for the PlayStation 4 by From Software. From Software, known for Dark Souls, Bloodborne, so on and so forth. This is a VR game that they made. Some people might have seen it at I think it was E3 when they did the trailer for it, or it might have been PSX or something. Definitely, it's not like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or anything like that. It's mostly a walking sim game. The basic premise is you are a fairy or a ghost or something. They call you a fairy. Take it as you will, but you're a fairy in this.
Shouldn't just leave it hang there, because then you're leading the witness.
You're in this. It's like a boarding school or a boarding house, with a bunch of like maybe like young teens or preteens, kids, and it starts off and you're just kind of like you're there. You don't know why you're there. There's just these kids, and you kind of like what you see is like almost like a snapshot in time. So as you explore the house, like all the kids are kind of like they're like ghostly and frozen, and then you can interact with them, and it'll kind of like fill you in on like what happened, like what they were just doing, and eventually like you start to kind of like communicate with this one character and pulling some pranks, and then you start like it's hard to explain, but it starts really slow, but it's interesting because just it's a VR game and it's done really well. For me anyways, not being like super, I haven't played a ton of VR games, so it's it's all still pretty cool to me. So it's just a neat VR experience. But then eventually the story like starts taking some like really, really interesting twists. For anybody who's familiar with a game called Until Dawn, there's a pretty significant twist in that game. And not to try to spoil anything, this game actually has like kind of a very interesting twist. But the best thing I can compare it to is the Until Dawn twist. And then they actually throw in some like time travel elements and shit. Like, it's pretty cool. It's short. I think I beat it in like 5 or 6 hours. I played it in one sitting. I thought it was gonna be like a 3-hour game, and I ended up staying up till like 4 a.m. or something because I was just like, I was having fun. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep playing because it's the weekend. So I would definitely recommend everybody who is just interested in a cool VR experience. Not necessarily From Software, like kind of distance from what you're used to from Software. Although there are some like aesthetics, like the visuals are very reminiscent of the style that they've done in their recent games. Okay. Some of the dialogue, and you can expect items and kind of get descriptions, and it's very, very similar to what they do. There is a Bloodborne Easter egg in the game, but apparently the director wishes they didn't do that because people are trying to like make all these connections and stuff. And he's like, really, there's not a connection. He's like, it's all coincidental. We just put in this thing because we thought it'd be fun, and now everybody's like reading way too much into it. Which, you know, if you're familiar with those games, that's like kind of what you have to do to like build this or like connect the dots for the stories, is you gotta come up with all these like theories and shit. But no, really cool game. Recommend checking it out. Unfortunately, the physical version's GameStop exclusive, so low print. It's still available right now in a lot of GameStops, at least in my area. So check it out. Cool game. Also completed, quote unquote, completed Beat Saber for the PS4. Conquered the campaign. At this point, I'm just doing free play. I'm actually ranked on the leaderboards, currently sitting at number 8 on one of the songs, which
Hello.
Don't want to toot my own horn, but
Toot.
It's not very often you can get on a leaderboard for a game. I'm assuming it's probably North America or North American audience leaderboards, probably not worldwide because I don't see like Korean or Japanese names or anything. But I think that's pretty cool. Number 8. I was at number 6. The person who is at number 1, I don't understand how, because like they only have 8,000 more points than I have, and in Beat Saber, 8,000 points is like not much. It's basically the difference between. I think I'm just not doing perfect cuts on the blocks, which a perfect cut is the direction it points directly down the middle in a straight line. And to have an 8,000 point difference is a hill that I just can't seem to get over. So the people that are placing higher than me are monsters of some sort. I don't understand how they do what they do, but I'm still having a lot of fun playing through Beat Saber. Just kind of going for achievements now. Right now I'm trying to beat like all the levels on expert, while I'm trying to keep up my leaderboard on one song, and I'm trying to get on the leaderboard for another song. So there's that. Also played through and finished Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Don't have a lot to say about it. If you've played Tomb Raider Reboot or Rise of the Tomb Raider, this is kind of more or less more of that. This is the end of a trilogy, but they didn't really. It's not like a capstone. It was a third game in a trilogy, but it doesn't acknowledge that like the trilogy is over. So it's just another story with an ending. They don't like have a big send off or anything, or no significant connection from that to the original Tomb Raider from 96 or whatever, which was a lot of people are like, oh, is she going to end up with the 2 guns at the end or something? Like, no, nothing like that. Like there's, it's much like the other games. It's the story and it ends. Although I will say there was a neat little nod in kind of like the post credits. It's not necessarily a spoiler, but for anybody who wants to play it, I'll just kind of save it for them to see that. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. And then there's actually, I never see this in credits, but the developers actually put like a message in the credits about, how much they enjoyed working on the reboot series, and they're sad to see it go. And I thought that was kind of cool too.
Wow,
you never get
a little extra in there.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Then because the Cartridge Club played DuckTales as their game of the month for December, I wanted to replay that. Just, I've played it before, very familiar, but there's a couple things like I was like, oh, it'd be beneficial just kind of get refreshed on some of the mechanics or levels, because the Cartridge Club monthly Prime podcast, they talk about the games pretty in depth, controls, music, gameplay, everything about it. So I was like, it's a short game too. You can speedrun DuckTales. So I played through that again. A classic, always fun. And then immediately after, I played through DuckTales Remastered, which I've never played before. I've had it for a couple years now, or a few years. I'm not sure. And when I picked it up, I don't think I knew that it was done by WayForward. WayForward, known for the Shantae series, mostly.
Surprise, surprise.
And holy shit, DuckTales Remastered is... So, as a DuckTales game, everything about it is better than the original. Now, if you just prefer retro games, like, you're going to love the original because, nostalgia and it's retro. But DuckTales Remastered, like, the animation is like the animation from the cartoon. They pulled in a lot of the original voice actors, Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Webbigail, Magica, like all the original voice actors for the most part. Gizmo Duck, I don't think was the original voice actor. Somebody told me. Mm-hmm. So that was awesome. They added in story, an intro to the game. There's a whole new intro level. They add in more dialogue during the levels. Like, so the original DuckTales, you can basically just go straight to the boss like in 2 minutes and not explore the level at all. Where now with the remaster, they actually essentially make you go through the entire level, almost like Metroidvania-ish, mm-hmm. where you gotta go and get some items, and then you can do whatever to get to the boss, which I thought was really cool, because they made all this game. Like, what's the point? It just fleshed it out more. I thought the music was excellent. Of course, those chip tunes are always going to have a soft spot in my heart, but I think Jake Kaufman did a fantastic job kind of like modernizing the songs.
Okay.
So for anybody who, if you love the original DuckTales game or you just love DuckTales the cartoon, especially if you like the DuckTales cartoon, you got to play the DuckTales Remastered, because it's like, it's everything a DuckTales game could be. Like, it's great. It's fucking great. Like, bravo. And what's super interesting about it...
fucking great.
Yes. What is super interesting about it is I hadn't played many of the other WayForward games outside of the Shantae series.
Okay.
Besides, like, some of the Game Boy Color games. But much like the WayForward's Game Boy Color games that came out before the original Shantae, they're almost like prototypes, mm-hmm. using the same engine, some of the same design aesthetics. DuckTales Remastered, I'm pretty sure, is essentially their prototype for Shantae Half Genie Hero. The animation style, how they do the levels, the kind of like 3D with the animated characters, like, it's Shantae Half Genie Hero's engine, and like that, I think that was their practice. Like, hey, we're gonna do this. If it works out, great, we're set for Half Genie Hero. So that was kind of neat. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that, I guess.
No, if that's the way it worked out, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the actual case, but I mean, it's very, very coincidental. A second time in the company's history that they had kind of these games using the same engine and same stuff, and then all of a sudden, bam, get this great Shantae game. It's like they got the practice, and then boom, real deal, or something. I don't know. Moving on, then I also played through Resident Evil 2, just the Claire's mission, because I wanted to revisit Resident Evil 2 before the remake to get refamiliarized as much as I could, especially with like the layout of the levels and kind of how they present some elements, so I can really see how they change things up for the remake. So that was that. And now I'm currently playing through Spider-Man on the PS4, and it's fantastic. Basically, much like people said, the Arkham games, as they are to Batman, this Spider-Man game is to Spider-Man. It's like, I don't see how they can improve. Like, web swinging is super awesome. Like, it's a lot of fun. You can fast travel. A lot of times I don't. Just fuck this, I'm gonna go swinging through the city and shit. Like, it's handled so well. and I'm not super far, so the story is just kind of start getting going. But they throw in some other characters. There's some characters that I think made it in that I'm not familiar with, probably from the comics. There's like this like social media character, like villain thing that was an interesting little side mission that I was like, I have no idea who this character is. Must be from the comics. So yeah, it's great. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention that I've been up to is I finally put out my review for FX Unit Yuki. I know I covered the game. I did a couple previews of demos. I did the unboxing video, but I wanted to do a review. I actually wrote the review after I played the game, and I wanted to put it together. So I finally got that out. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. I didn't expand much on from what I kind of praised for the demos, but I expanded on all the changes that they made from the demos to the full game and kind of like what we missed out on just playing the demos. So
excellent.
Yeah. So yes, that's what I have been up to. Another overly long discussion on that. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, brother. Well, besides working a lot. So I don't know, it was like 3 weeks ago. I probably was a little high, and I did what, like, you know how like, oh, drunk white girls be on Amazon buying stuff, or drunk people. So I was high white guy on Amazon, and I'm just like, I'm pre-ordering this, I'm pre-ordering this, I'm pre-order. Dude, I was just like the pre-order lord and master. I was just clicking like, that looks cool, that looks cool, that looks
Why
cool.
not? Why not?
So, but so one of the things I pre-ordered that came in, haven't opened it yet, but that's because I'm working into it. My Darksiders 3. I just remember me and a guy at work, me and some of the guys at work, we chipped in and got him a PS4. But before that, because it was out on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, Darksiders 1. I forget if I picked it up or he picked it up. I want to say, no, I think I did. Because it was probably one of those like GameStop things where it was like, oh, Xbox 360 games are all like buy two, get one free.
Sure.
And so I was just like, this kind of looks, you look at the cover, you read the back. All right. It's the three shitty screenshots they tend, like, I swear, some of these companies, like, they need a professional photographer to like come and go, okay, you're trying to sell this game to someone who doesn't know anything about it, kind of like old school. Like, they have the cover, the name, and some screenshots on the back. I swear the companies always choose like the three shittiest screenshots to show you the game. You're like, that's not really showing me anything. Like,
yeah, right.
They're always shitty, but they always have like the most epic, like cheesy, like fantasy novel writer in the back, like, in an age where the devil is taken over, you, the lone, like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna roll up on this guy because I'm the hero of the story, but the pictures are shit. Always.
It's like
anyway.
It's like the video game version of that Steve Buscemi meme where he's like,
hello,
"What's up,
fellow,
kid?"
hello, fellow teenagers.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like their marketing team of like,
Yeah, they're like, this is gonna be really hip with the kids. So I bought it, played through it, and I was like, wow, this is actually a really good game. And it's THQ Nordic.
Yep.
And it sucked because they made number one, played it, gave it to the guy at work, like, because he loves a lot of like Four Horsemen stuff, and I'm trying to think of I was gonna say Celtic stuff that has nothing to do, but Vikings. He's a huge, loves anything Viking and all that kind of stuff. So he played it. He's like, dude, this game is so awesome. And it's your tip. It's just a typical third person, hack and slash. You get abilities. They do a little Zelda-esque where, oh, you can't quite get that treasure chest up there until maybe you get a power later. So that gives you reason to backtrack.
So one thing I've never understood with Darksiders is the Zelda comparison.
Oh, I was just using Zelda as like because I mean Zelda really, I guess really Zelda maybe didn't do it first, but I just always think of it as like when Zelda Ocarina of Time, there was always things that you'd pass in your early adventures, and you're like, why can't I get that yet? Oh, because you don't have the right, maybe you need some boots or an ability that's going to let you double, or Castlevania, like Symphony Night.
Right.
Until you got double jump, then
but why haven't people ever compared games like, see, for me, Darksiders, and this kind of goes back to our conversation last podcast episode where we were talking about what we were talking about, God of War clone, and then we talked about how actually Devil May Cry did it first. How come nobody ever compares Devil May Cry to a Zelda game? Because I actually always thought Darksiders felt more like God of War or Devil May Cry to me. And people have always made the Zelda comparison. So that's what originally made me check out Darksiders. And I was like, this is nothing like Zelda. This is more like God of War. That's what I
see what you're going for. I mean, the sad thing is I own all the God of Wars, just not on PSP. Well, technically I do because I got the collection. And I don't know why. It was just a series that I think early back in the day, like we're talking like me living in the time of as it's coming out. So I remember like seeing Devil May Cry, seeing all the stuff for it, because they like Capcom pushed the crap out of it. And I forget that it was, what was it? It was what Onimusha was supposed to be or something. But what did it come from? I always forget.
Resident Evil.
It was, because they wanted
Onimusha and Devil May Cry were both like Resident Evil.
That's right, yeah.
And then they kind of were like, oh, wait. Because I think Devil May Cry happened because they were trying to make Resident Evil 4 or something.
Yeah, I just remember it came from a franchise. They're like, well, wait a minute, this is way too far removed from what, the series is about. But anyway, played it, loved it. And then, skipped ahead. So I remember playing Devil May Cry, getting it, and I actually, like, it was fun. It was like super actiony, but I was like, I don't get what I'm supposed to do. Not in terms of like I couldn't figure the game out, but the combat was too fast for me.
Sure.
Because you have to, and then I don't like when games do this. I hate that they do this. They rank you.
Yes, I agree.
Oh God, because then I don't enjoy the combat.
That.
I'm too busy trying to make an S combo.
Right.
And so I'm like, I don't even enjoy the combat. Like I just want to beat this crap out of this monster in cool ways, but oh wait, no, I got to do all these chain of combos so I get an S ranking, so I get more souls, so I can upgrade my abilities.
Yeah.
So I think it turned me off. So when God of War came out, which I mean, I like Greek mythology and stuff like that as much as the next person, but I'm not like huge on it. So when it was like, oh, it plays just like Devil May Cry and blah blah blah, I was just like, no. If it plays like Devil May Cry and I'm going to be ranked again, I'm not going to have fun. So I completely have not played any of the God of Wars.
Sure.
Not because I think they're stupid, just I have them all. I have them on various PS2, PS3. I don't have the brand new one because I'm just like, well, I'm not going to get it until I sink my teeth in a couple of them. So I have like, hey, I kind of know the story. So I'll get to God of War one of these days. Maybe when I'm in a retirement home, maybe not.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like I said, besides the new one, I only played the first one. I
hear nothing but good things about the series. My same coworker at work, he's played them all, loves them all. Oh my God, I love them. Oh. So anyway.
But, back to Darksiders. I always thought like Darksiders was more like God of War, Devil May Cry than Zelda. And
I don't even know why I use Zelda. It wasn't because I've never seen anybody else use the comparison.
No,
it was the first thing that popped in my head. Like that's put things unobtainable to you right now.
You look at
come back when you have the right thing.
Or any discussion about Darksiders, and every single one they mention Zelda, and I don't get it.
Well, it's just another reason for me to be fuck Nintendo.
True that.
Because your stupid fanboys go out and influence, groups of other people. Go, but you like Zelda? Like, no, idiot, not like Zelda. But so anyway, but yeah, so I'm playing through Darksiders right now. I'm probably like a good 15, 20 hours, and I just like playing it. It's been a good chunk of years. I'm like, I remember this game, and this is fun. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. And it's just, it's rare for me to feel like a complete badass when I play a game.
Yeah.
Like I try to relate to my character, and obviously I'm not a muscle-bound, sword-wielding dude, but I'm like, God, War is so cool as a character,
Yeah,
I love everything about them.
Yeah, their design is very like comic booky.
Yeah. So once I get through that, and then I have 2. I never played through 2. But that game gets really, really puzzly, like super like, oh, find a way to get this ball from this part of the dungeon over here to unlock it. Like, and I hate that kind of crap because they went overboard with it.
Mm.
And then, and it was weird because your equipment gathering plays, sorry to use it again, Zelda, like through Darksiders 1, you kind of get set upgrades. Like, oh, you beat this boss, now you're sort of stronger. If you find all these pieces in the zone, you'll get another ability. Where number 2 is more like a Diablo loot system. Beat up a mob, gear just like pukes out of their corpse, and you have random stats so you can keep always trying to find. It was really weird. I was like, wow, interesting choice. Yeah, like I was like really, because I played it back on my Xbox 360. I just never went through the whole thing. It was really weird. It was like set upgrades, Diablo loot. Okay, that's kind of a cool, neat spin on it, but
yeah, that's interesting.
So I don't know what number 3, but what sucked is the parent company that owned Nordic THQ. Sorry, folks, we're way too long on Darksiders here. It sucked because I forget what company was going out of business, and then I remember Game Informer did all the companies that were under that company, and who was buying them and who wasn't getting bought, and like, because what's the other company that helped produce?
Was it THQ?
Well, it's THQ Nordic, but there was like the producer company like Silver or something like that. I want to say Silver.
I don't think so.
Or something, but
yeah,
they weren't getting bought up, so I was like, oh, great, cool. 2 awesome games from the series, because they said there's obviously the 4 horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
We have war, we've had death, and then we need, obviously, Darksiders 3 is with the chick, which I think she's...
Rage.
Fury. Fury, thank you. Fury, and then we're supposed to have Pestilence. So it's like, sweet, there's supposed to be 2 more games. This is like really cool, and the story connects. It's not just, oh, there's 4 individual games. They kind of have something. No, it's awesome. So I really like the story. Anyway, that's that. I played a little Rock Band. I found my like Xbox 360 wireless guitar. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play some Rock Band too. Still works. The whammy bar's a little rusted because it's that fake chrome crap. But I played that for a little bit. Hooked up my 360, obviously. So I was playing, it's because you can't get it on Sony accounts anymore. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I got it on my PS3.
I would love to. I would pay whatever. I'd pay $20 for it right now, but they must have let the licensing lapse, so you can't get it on the Sony, because I didn't have a Sony when it was out. So I played that on my 360. Told my buddy, I'm like, I wonder I forget how many Halos I have. I'm like, I haven't played Halo in a while. And so I showed up here. I'm like, I had all my Halos in one hand for 360. So I have like the remaster and obviously a 1, 2, 3, 4, and so I was like, it's that kind of day, buddy. Who's the guy my buddy who's huge Xbox fan, loves Xbox, got me into Halo back in the day. He's like, when I get home, we're playing Halo. I'm like, oh, okay. So he had to give me like a 2-week free gold code, because I'm like, I'm not like, Microsoft wants like for 1 month, like I think it's like $10 for 1 month of gold. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not paying you $10. So he's like, I got a code for 2 weeks, and so we jumped on and played Halo 1 co-op through like most of the game. It was really fun.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a series. I have all the series. I've never played. And
oh God, you have to. They're so much fun. Like the story, like that would probably be one of the more. And I know, there's probably gonna be some people like, screw you, you didn't play this or this then. But in terms of like a sci-fi story, up until Mass Effect, Halo has a fucking spot on awesome like space sci-fi story versus aliens kind of thing, and it's so it really pays off. So it's definitely worth playing through if you get a hair up your butt since you own them all. Just play them. Just sit down, throw it on like a normal or easy, because the game can get hard. Like they program some of the mobs to be smart. So like, haha, threw a grenade, and they'll just jump out of the way and run. Like, oh,
sure.
Well, thanks, grenade. You did nothing. So I played a little of that. I got a new toy. I know I've been selling stuff, but a guy on a Facebook group had something that I've wanted for so long, and he had the perfect price. I kind of made one of the things I'm kind of let down by, and I'll explain what it is. But otherwise, totally, completely awesome and happy with my purchase. But it's a guy who does backlight mods for Game Boys. Mm-hmm. So it's an original fat OG Game Boy, which, and the part I'm disappointed about is because he had all these colors, which I know they did. They made like red, green, clear, all those fantastic colors for the Game Boy. He had a white one. I'm like, I don't remember them making a white one. Like, not the standard Nintendo gray, though, the standard one you'd get.
Yeah.
I mean, like bone white, like my PS4. I'm like, maybe it's a Japanese one or something, and he's, modded it. so it'll play in English, or because I don't even know if Game Boys are region. I don't know. But I'm like, I message him on him, like, you know, he was selling. They were backlit, and then there's a chip or something you add, so it gives it like double the contrast. So you can like really fine tune the contrast on the Game Boy. But it's backlit. It's really, I've always wanted a backlit original Game Boy. And he was telling, you know, I'm like, hey, is the white one still available? He's like, yep. He's like, I do all these myself, and you won't find them cheaper. So it's $75 shipped. I'm like, I sat there and kind of was like on a smoke break at work. I'm like, do I do it? Because I'm trying to.
Sounds
like, you know what?
pretty fair for a
No, it is, because most of those people, if they want like 100. But the disappointing part is when I got it, it says Game Boy on it. It's a Chinese shell. It's just a mold shell, but it's still good quality. I'm happy with it because, you know, me and I want all my systems white if I can have it that way. So, and I just saw a guy with the listing on Facebook Marketplace who has a white PS3 and a shit ton of stuff with it for like 150, make a best offer. So I might actually make an offer on that tomorrow, because that will be the last Sony system I need to have white. I have a white Vita, a white PSP, my white Slim. I have a the PS1, the little smaller one that had the TV attachment. That's more technically white, even though it's not.
Yeah.
And then PS4, like say Vita, PSP. Oh, sorry, will not be the last. I need a PSP Go, but I just don't know if I can bring myself to spend $100 for one of those things, because all people do is they end up modding them so you can put ROMs on them, and that
basically
because there's no store, because it's a digital only system and the store is closed for it. So So I need a Go, and then I need a white PS3, and then I'll have all white Sony systems, which I am not racist. just kidding. But so the last thing I've been currently playing. Oh, I played a little. No, that was last time. I was gonna say I beat Rygar. Nope, I said that last time. But so with acquiring this backlit Game Boy, I was like, cool, and it's gonna tie into my retro highlight. Which will be, so we'll go right into it because it's the last game I played, and then we can move on to the topics.
Sure.
So my retro highlight for this week is going to be the game I'm playing with my backlit Game Boy, which is Kid Icarus: Myths and Monsters. And obviously, if anybody's played Kid Icarus for the Nintendo, it's not a port or anything. It's a completely original game featuring our lovable hero Pit. What a weird name, but sure.
Yep.
One of the cool features right off the bat is Pit's wings aren't for show this time. He doesn't have the wings of Icarus like he does at the end of the first one, where you had to get them and then use them. When you jump, you can tap A really fast, and he'll flap his wings to kind of slow his descent, so it's not just a fast, up, down. So that's kind of a cool feature. But otherwise, everything is the same. You shoot the monsters, you get the hearts for currency, you can pick up hammers to release the soldiers in the dungeons, and just all overall, it's a fun game with I think it almost, mind you, has a better soundtrack than its Nintendo counterpart. Almost. But I remember that was actually, I think, back in the day too, when I was little and I got my first Game Boy. I think that was like one of the first games I bought too, because I was like, Kid Icarus, I gotta have that, because I don't know why, back when I was younger. And not that I'm defending why the game's good. I mean, most people who've played Kid Icarus, like, yeah, it's an awesome game, I had to have it. I remember vividly playing the shit out of Kid Icarus.
Sure.
So that is also that's my retro highlight. If you haven't played a Myths and Monsters and you want a second round of Kid Icarus, pick it up. It's not too expensive, so yeah, great solid adventure.
Yeah, I don't think I even knew that there was a Kid Icarus on the Game Boy.
Well, now you do, and now
That's
you know.
one system I abuse. Like I just don't play handhelds like ever. I really need to, because there's a lot of good stuff. I have a lot of. I have like.
You have a Super Game Boy though, don't you?
Yes, I got.
There you go.
Player. And I got all my PSP stuff. I got my component cables for my PSP.
I actually have to get a set of those.
And the last summer, Jason Corpse Light Gaming gave me a 3DS XL that I haven't even touched.
Jesus.
It's like I need to play some of this stuff.
Hey Jason, I'm cool. I'm hip. I'll take free shit. That's cool. I don't need a bunch of like weird shitty OG Xbox games because I don't even have an OG Xbox because I don't want one. But I mean, if you have another like I don't know, I can't even think of something cool. Just share the love, brother. Share the love.
For sure. Yeah. So then, in regards to new stuff, like I don't know, there's not a whole lot that I wanted to talk about going on recently. It's just that time of the year where things seem to get a little slow. But there's one just little topic I just wanted to touch on.
just a teeny tiny little topic.
Yeah. It's weird. So we're kind of talking a little bit about this as I was kind of telling Justin my thoughts on this and kind of like why I wanted to talk about it. But there's, especially with games news websites, they've really been jumping on this Epic Store versus Steam deal. The Epic Store is essentially the storefront for Epic Games, mostly right now for Fortnite. And it's doing really well because Fortnite, of course, is a hugely popular game. So they got a lot of people using the Epic Game Store, and they're starting to kind of pull some developers to do like exclusive, the game's only available on the Epic Store, kind of like what some of the other services. Well, I can't even really think. I don't think any of the other services have store exclusives. Like EA's Origins, just EA stuff. Ubisoft's Uplay is just Ubisoft. Blizzard, of course, is just Blizzard. So people are starting to really compare this to Steam. It's this is the next Steam. Steam's going down. They got Epic Game Store has Hello Neighbor exclusively, and they're getting the Super Meat Boy sequel exclusively, and this and that. And it's like, okay, they got a few games, but the main thing that I want to touch on is, just competition's good.
Yes.
Definitely, it's a good thing. We never want to give one company exclusive run on things, and I don't think Steam has a monopoly on the PC gaming service because I just mentioned Epic, Uplay, Origin. You also have GOG, Humble Bundle, although a lot of Humble Bundle I know is
Steam codes.
Steam codes. And there's like I think another one's like Green Man Gaming, which is another Steam code distribution. But so a lot of this shift to this Epic's Game Store is essentially they're offering developers a lower cost to publish the games on their service. Steam charges 30% for developers to put their games on Steam. Flat rate. That's it. Epic is saying 15%. So everyone's like, oh, Steam's done. Everyone's going to jump ship.
Right.
The main thing that I think people are overlooking is that, Steam, yeah, sure. There's a lot of people using Epic Store or using the Epic service right now because they're playing Fortnite. Is that going to drive them to buy other games? Doubt it. The people that are playing Fortnite because it's Fortnite.
Yep.
Because that's what the Twitch streamers are playing.
They don't care where it is either.
Where Steam's a hosting service. Like, you play everything on Steam. You don't just go to play the Epic service because of Fortnite. You go on Steam because it hosts all your games, digitally accessible, this and that. Has a massive daily user base. Yeah, sure, a lot of people log on to Fortnite on a daily basis, but again, they're just playing Fortnite. This is people using Steam, playing all kinds of games, thousands of games. But one thing that I saw that was really interesting was just this guy. He goes Gino for Prez. He posted a comment on Destructoid, and I thought this comment was pretty great, and I just kind of wanted to cover his comment because he kind of hits on a lot of this stuff really well. So he says, people keep making a big deal about Epic's revenue share, like it's an amazing thing for developers and that Epic is totally owning Steam with that generous cut. But let's not forget, Steam allows companies to sell Steam keys of their games on any other site or platform, and Steam will take a 0% cut. So distribution services like Humble Bundle, Green Man Gaming, like there's not an extra fee for them to sell Steam keys. Even though the developer of those games is paying that 30%. So that's a thing. And then he goes on to say Steam is the only platform that does this. When people say, sure, there are stores, Humble Bundle, blah, blah, blah. And then he's reposting some information from another source. I'm not sure, he didn't cite the source. At least I will say Gino for Prez posted the initial comment. But this is basically just kind of like a rundown of what these different services offer. So you got the Epic launcher. That's Epic Games storefront. They have a friends list that has block and unblock functionality. They have DRM free packages, which are optional for the publishers. They offer refunds, and they have it says limited regional pricing. More regions to come in 2019. So I think I'm not really sure what limited regional pricing is. It might be on sales for certain, like Canada sale or something. I don't know.
It's actually probably that, yeah.
So then they mention like Humble Store's DRM free packages, which are optional, access to Android versions of games, Steam keys, charity share profit, gift purchases for others, refunds, and wish lists. So already Humble Bundle's offering more service than the Epic launcher. Then you got GOG, DRM free packages, access to the GOG Galaxy client with achievements, leaderboards, friends list, forums, cloud saves, rollback branches, multiplayer API, crossplay with Steam, game reviews, wish lists, Steam keys for older purchases via special promotions, and refunds. So GOG has a robust, kind of a robust service. So then we get to Steam. So this is going to take a moment. So stick with me here. This is going to be a list. We got achievements, leaderboards, Steam stats, cloud saves, big picture mode for TV display, gamepad integration with mapping and community presets, forums, artwork, screenshot sharing hub, ability to stream video within the Steam client to friends and followers, Steam Workshop, which is community mod sharing, game reviews with filtering and metrics data, Linux support for non-Linux-based systems, friends list with chat, presence integration, block unblock, wish lists, dev hub with follow features for news, related updates, game guides by the community, Steam music integration, family sharing, trading card economy with unlockable content, gift purchases for friends or those on Steam, full regional pricing, refunds. So, and I've seen people argue, well, Steam's been around for almost 2 decades. Okay, so basically they did all the groundwork. All you have to do is copy what they're doing, and they're not even doing that. Like, there's no reason, like, if Epic Launcher is trying to take down Steam, like, step up your game, dude. You're not going to compete. Sure, all these people playing Fortnite, like, yeah, Epic's making a fuck ton of money. They made like billions of dollars last year because of Fortnite. Steam's doing just fine. Like,
well, I mean, that's like anybody trying to open up another game store a block down the street from GameStop, and they do the same thing. They sell mostly newer stuff, but they go, we're cool because we offer all the same stuff GameStop does, but here's the catch. We sell our games for $5 less. Okay. And then, dude, that place you're going to run GameStop out of business. Be like, no, they've already got an established client list.
And then you go into this new store and you realize, like, they have like a fraction of the selection, and they have like none of the services.
Mm-hmm.
They got one employee working. Things are, you can't do all your games research, and I can't come up with a good analogy here, but.
Well, no, that's you don't even need one. It's just the simple fact that, like you were kind of talking briefly before we started the podcast, like people that make it into like, oh, Steam's over, Steam's done with. Oh my God, Steam, you're done. Like, Well, one, no, they're not. They're why would they be worried at all? They probably got more money than they know what to do with, and that's only going to keep making money because God knows the old summer sales. Holy, like it's almost like an event in life for a lot of people. They're like, I got to get home, and Steam sale starts at like 10.
Summer and winter sale,
Yeah.
but especially the summer sale.
They're huge. Like, and we're not talking like, oh, cool, my game on my wish list 10%. Like, we're talking like, oh crap, my game's 90% off. Like, it's $5. Cool, sweet.
Yeah. So on Steam, this developer puts their game on Steam. They pay a 30%, but they sell
like gangbusters. Yeah,
50,000 copies. Where they put it on the Epic launcher, and we get 15. We only have to pay 15, but you only sold 15,000.
Yeah.
I'm not sure those numbers, just in comparison for anything, are probably really low, but
But on the other hand, it's just like, why is that to be a competition? I mean, competition in general for like, hey, there's a new service, they're going to try to compete. Competition's good in the sense of for the consumer, because then that means better prices and stepping up their game to want your business. But Steam doesn't have to advertise. I've never seen a advert for Steam like, hey, wondering what to do on your lonely Friday night, nerd? Come on to Steam. Thousands of games that you're just like, no, they don't have to, because you will hear it from somebody like, oh yeah, I just picked up this off Steam. I'm going to go home and play it. And you're going to be like, what's Steam? You're like, oh, okay, let me show you, buddy. It sells itself.
Right.
It's a place where it's literally an online marketplace where it's like, you want to buy something? Great. Here are the prices. If you want to wait a month, they'll be half that. Maybe.
But then there's like yeah, there's that. But then there's all the other great features, like the friend service is very robust. You can do group chats. You can make a group, like an actual like community, and like you can make it public and people can join if you want to do whatever. Like the Steam profile offerings, game history, they show your hours played, which even before Steam, I was using this service called Xfire, which I loved, mainly because it tracked the games I played and said, oh, you were playing Dead Space for 12 hours, and it just throws it on a list for you. So you can always, I like seeing that sort of stuff. Like, how much Left 4 Dead did I used to play? Oh crap, I got 300 hours in Left 4 Dead, or whatever. I like that. Some people don't care, but just for me, that's the stuff I really especially like about Steam. The great friend service that they offer, the whole like profile, achievements, tracking stuff. It's great. It really is. So I don't know. I think I already talked to Justin a little bit about this, but one thing that I thought it kind of really seems like what's going on here is the comparison that I made was there's a guy I watch. His name's Philip DeFranco. Some people might be familiar, but he was talking about some Twitch streamers, and he's mentioned this in the past, but we as a society, we like to we like this person, this entertainer, so we we celebrate them and we prop them up. And then once they get to this certain level, we're like, oh, they're sitting high, we're gonna tear them down. And then South Park made a great episode about pop singers, the Britney Spears episode, where I think it was Britney Spears, where essentially it's a cult, and this cult comes together and okay, who are we going to make famous? Oh, we're going to make Britney Spears famous, and then we're going to destroy her. It's a crazy fucking episode.
We're going to build her up, and then we're going to tear her down.
And that's exactly what people do. And if you go and read any comment section talking about this Epic stuff, and because everybody makes the comparisons to Steam, you're going to see so many of these people that are like, oh, fuck Steam. Oh, they have people who can post their crappy games. It's like, okay, you don't have to play their crappy games.
Nope.
I don't know about, I mean, most of you that are listening are not what I call normies. Normies are they're normies. They don't know any better. Forgive them. They're not able to look at a video game and say, based on the history of the games I've played and how this design looks and this and that, they can't kind of like make a good educated guess what the game's crappy or not. And then you'll have these people who do, especially if you follow Jim Sterling, he does what's the series called where he looks at the shitty Steam games? Jimpressions.
Yep.
Where he looks at all these games, and they're basically people who will buy. There's a system called Unity, which a lot of people use to make games now, and you can buy packages that are meant to give you resources like things like character models and monsters and guns, and it's kind of assumed that when you buy these packages that you kind of like change things, you adjust the way they look to cater to make it fit for your game and to be your creation. And there's people who don't. They'll just buy all these resources, throw them into a game, and try to sell it. So you get all these games that look like exactly like Minecraft. I mean, they're all the same, and all these like PUBG ripoffs and stuff. And me, I can look at this game and say, yeah, this game's an obvious asset flip. Piece of crap looking game. It looks broken. It looks janky. You can watch the trailers, and it's like they're using Comic Sans for all their text in their trailers. It's like, stay away. Like, I don't know if there's people falling victim to these shitty, like no talent games that are getting uploaded on Steam. Like, sorry, but that's not Steam's fault. Like, they do a pretty good job, I think, of curating, like getting rid of like games that are. Well, that's not true. There's like some games that are completely broken that are on Steam and stuff. But I think people need to relax a little bit. Appreciate what Steam has done and what it's offered. It's been a great service. I've been using it since it started, because back in the day I was playing OG Counter-Strike before Source. And then when they shifted to Steam, I was all about it. And even though a lot of this Steam functionality like took a while for them to get going, like friend service like didn't work for years.
Yep.
Like it just didn't work. It was there, but they just didn't. They were working on it. And the refunds, like even refunds, are relatively new compared to how old Steam is. They've only been doing the refunds for like 3 years or 4 years or something. It's not that long. So. No, that's kind of all I had to say about that. Steam's a quality service. Like, it has some issues, and I think they are a little. Well, it's not that they're cocky. They don't necessarily address things as direly as they should, because they're like, yeah, we're low, cranking in the money. So, whatever, we'll get to it. And that's kind of why Valve stopped making games, is because they're getting so much money from Steam. They're like, yeah, we don't need to make games anymore. We're just going to fuck around with whatever random technologies we feel like working on. And,
Well, I mean, and I think also, though, a lot of it plays into that. Like, I for a lot of people, the whole friend connection thing, I mean, nowadays seems so minor. I know that you brought it up, like, Steam really has it fleshed out. You can make your own communities, people can join it, blah, blah, blah. Like, a community kind of thing is great, but like having my friends list, I can use Discord for that. Like, it'll say who's on, what they're playing. It doesn't obviously tell how long you've been playing, which I kind of like your X-Fire thing, but like I can get on and be like, oh, Church is playing this, or my buddy Geyser's playing that, or so-and-so is playing this, or, and just everything's so coordinated by, I think, talking channels than it is more so like, oh, I'm going to go into my Steam friend list and see what.
Yeah, Steam, Discord, they got voice chat down just because it's so easy. Where you can do voice chat, but it's not like the focus necessarily of Steam's communication service. Most of the time, like I talk to my brother and a couple friends, like pretty much only on Steam, and it is mostly just text chat. But when we're playing games and stuff, we can usually just use the in-game chat, which is one thing that drives me nuts about Discord. Is Discord, I really feel like Discord's having a negative impact on voice communications in games, because people are just sitting in their Discord chats, chatting with their friends instead of chatting in the games, which can be detrimental to gameplay. Like, especially like a game like Friday the 13th, where communications with the other counselors can be, the difference between you surviving or escaping from Jason or being brutally murdered. And a lot of those people are streamers, and they're just sitting chatting to their streamer watchers and their friends and stuff, and not communicating with people in game, which really sucks. And then at the same time, people using Discord, like because you're in Discord, it's not limited to who you can talk to depending on whether you're alive or dead. There's a lot of what's called ghosting going on now, where people are dead and they can view their friends and tell their friends what's going on, which I think is an issue. Is what it is, but but Discord is pretty nice for chat, I will say.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's just Microsoft's way of like listening into what people are saying, and if they want to trace people, but
yeah.
Oh, hey, look at this brand new service. It's completely free, and don't worry. Like,
yeah, it's
costing you money, and it doesn't, like, there's no advertising, there's no nothing. So it's like just offering this for all because you're really nice.
Discord really became successful because of streamers, because Twitch doesn't offer like a great community service on the site, so people needed something where they could have where could people essentially Discord is the modern version of a forum.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it. I just mean like how that costs money for them to have all those servers so that people can use, and it's completely free. Like, yeah. That's why I kind of make the joke of like, yeah, they just want to be able to listen to what all these conversations are going. And
there's a reason, and any service, especially when it comes to the internet, there's a reason these services are free, because they're not trying to sell you anything. They're selling you. Mm-hmm. You are the product. And a lot of people don't realize this. Like when you go to a store and they'll have like those, give us your name and email address for a chance to win this new F-150.
Yep.
That's because they're keeping their costs off of selling the name and email address you just gave them. Like, they're not just like, we're just going to give these people a truck because we're a good company. Like, no, sorry. That's not how capitalism works.
So, but I already had scam callers before I had Discord. So I'm like, well, yeah, you one of the same people who are already kind of scammy. So yeah. Nothing lost there.
Yeah, that's like my dad. But I also have a friend that was like, oh, I'm not going to use this and this because there's tracking you and taking your information. It's like, they already got that. Sorry.
Yeah.
They got you. They already got you. They got you in so many ways. You got a cell phone. You got a bill. They sold your information. You got an electric bill. They sold your information. You got a cable bill. They sold your information.
You have a cell phone. They sell your information.
Every company sells your information. Like,
yeah, that's how they. That's why they don't care that we didn't have a bumper crop year, but don't worry, we made it back. I mean, I've seen like many documentaries on that, how they take your information and they sell it off to this person, and it's like, now you're thinking, okay, like take for example like a cell phone company. They're selling. I mean, like that's pretty much they got everything they need on your address, your age, what phone you bought. I mean, and then they can scan what apps you have and all that. I mean, like, because I'm just thinking in this day and age. How do you look up someone's cell phone number? Like before, you could be like, "Oh, church has a landline. I can city and state for phone this person's name." Yeah, and I'll find it, and I can be like, "Hey, is this so and so?" You're like, "How did you get this number?" It's in the phone book, but there's no cell phone phone book. Maybe there is. Maybe someone's gonna be like, "Oh, dude, you got to go to like darksecrets.com and make an account."
Yeah, actually, that's been a thing that it's came to mind once in a while. It's like, man, I wish I could look up this person's number, and it's like. You can't. I mean, I'll see these websites like where they'll be like, "Oh, give us $19.99 for 1 month of access to our internet white pages." And it's like, I don't trust you.
And you shouldn't. But hey, guess what? One of the people that bought your information.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, so basically the short of it is this like mini documentary thing was basically like, okay, so let's take like, Verizon. I'm not with Verizon, but take Verizon. They have all your information they need. They don't need to know like your social security number or anything, but they just age, what you like. Oh, here are the apps they download. And then they'll batch up like 300,000 of their customers and go, okay, here's a packet of 300,000 people ready to go. This is what they like. They'll put them in categories, and then people will bid on them, and then be like, and we're talking like, it's not like, hey, okay, I'm some third world country check scamming thing, but we're called, whatever Incorporated. And they don't just pay like, I'll give you $5,000 for those. They're like, no, they pay millions.
Yeah.
Millions for that block of 400 or 250,000, 300,000 people. And these companies do it all day long. It's just back and forth, back and forth. I'm just like, someone could have made a master list by now. And, why would you even need to buy it at that point? You're just like, oh, don't worry. Go to masterlist.com, pay the $19.99 for a month fee, and you have access to all these people.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I want people to do, especially those who use Facebook, but it's not just Facebook. It's all these services. Pay attention to the ads that you'll see pop up.
Oh, yeah.
There's not tons of ads on Facebook, but they'll throw an ad or a sponsored post here and there in your feed, and pay attention to the ads and think back to like maybe recent conversations you've had in the last week, and you might start to notice that, hey, I never looked up this thing on the internet or anything, but I was having a conversation with my friend like a few days ago about something like this, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing ads for it.
Oh, well, here. So on my phone, I just opened up Messenger, which is just the Facebook, direct messenger. You can have it as a separate app, so you don't have to like go through Facebook every time. So you're the last person that I've messaged with, a couple of my friends. After about 6 different conversations I have, oh, there's a sponsored ad in my Messengers list.
Whoa,
which
really?
Yeah, I don't know if this happens on PCs, but on my phone right now, oh, there's a Landgrisser, the new Landgrisser mobile game coming out in 5 more days left. Like specifically, even says comes out in 5 days.
Yeah,
apply now. In my message, and they even give it like a little circle bubble, like it's one of my contacts.
Huh.
So I can
That's
click the 3. So I can hide ad. I always report ad for being very sexually inappropriate, and then it's funny.
I always report ads too.
So every time I do this, I'll report it as like sexually offensive, and they're like, oh, we'll review that. I actually get a response like a day or 2 later, like, we reviewed this and we don't find anything sexually wrong with it.
Yep.
But at least it made it go away for a couple days.
I always report ads as like harassment or inappropriate content. But I see what's interesting is on my phone, I don't actually use Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I want to message somebody, I actually go into Facebook and then I'll click on, the message place, which bring up the Messenger. It's, I still have to have Messenger on my phone because the Facebook app and Messenger are actually they're 2 separate services now. So they, harvest your information doubly. But that's interesting. I'll
on my phone. And the Messenger app specifically. There's an advertisement right there. And I'm just like, wow, Facebook, you are you're that hardcore up for money now?
Yeah.
You have to advertise that'd be like going into your phone, like, hey, I'm going to call Justin quick, going into your phone contact list. And all of a sudden, like whoever, like, let's say you have a Droid, right?
Yes.
That'd be like Android going, we need a little extra income. Boom. There's a Pizza Hut advertisement between the C and the D, phone book listing on your phone, your contact list. Like, hey, okay, there's Donnie, there's Denise, what the hell, Domino's? Like a big advert for Domino's right in your contacts list. Like, why? What? How did that get there?
Yeah,
it's just it's invasive advertising because it's like, hey, but you are right. Like, who knows? If I were to post, hey, just got Darksiders 3, probably have Darksiders 3 advertisements. Like, yeah, I've already bought it. I don't need the fucking advertising for it.
Yeah.
You know, most of my shit's mobile apps. They're like, hey, you play Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, so we can sense that. And of course, the only way you can play the game is if signing in through Facebook, which I don't get that. But
yeah,
they addressed it. They're going to be like, no, people are upset that the only way you can sign in is through that. We're going to try to make it our own service. But like you say, anything you talk about, you could do, hey, I went and saw a movie. You might start going, you might get ads for the hot new movie coming, Glass, this Friday.
Yeah, for sure. But so enough about companies stealing your data and sharing it.
VPNs, baby, VPN.
True that. Let's talk about some video games. More specifically, first quarter-ish game releases. So this is something I always like to talk about. You know, every episode we always talk about the upcoming games in the next couple weeks. But it's like, hey, let's expand this and see what's coming out in the next couple months, because there's a lot of cool stuff, and you know, it helps some listeners discover, oh, I didn't know that was coming out, or I forgot that was coming out, sort of things.
I'm going to let you start. Either one that you have pre-ordered or one that you've maybe gotten recently. You can, however you want to do it.
Yeah, I was thinking either we could approach it like kind of like monthly or just free form. I'm looking at some lists, but for me, the main things coming out this month, of course, Resident Evil 2 Remake, which I have the collector's edition on pre-order. GameStop is ridiculous. Oh yeah, because that's another thing. These fucking GameStop exclusives. They're getting it with all these collector's editions, and it's really burning my chaps because
and a hole in your wallet.
Yeah, because it used to be, oh, you can pre-order whatever and you can pick it up in store. You can't pick up these things in store anymore. They have to ship them to you because, oh, if we ship them to the store, we don't have to charge you this extra fee for shipping, and the shipping is ridiculous. So, hey, do you want your Resident Evil 2 Remake potentially on launch day, or do you want to wait for us to, 3 to 5 days processing and then we'll ship it to you? Fucking bullshit scam. If you want release day, $25 for 1 day shipping.
See, I can't share your anger because we've talked about this before. No, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be angry. I know what you're saying, but I mean, like, you and other people I talk to, because you don't, I mean, in terms of a company shipping us things, you don't live far away from me. You're about an hour drive, but my Amazon, every time, like everything I've pre-ordered from Amazon, I never get day one. I always, the day it releases, hey, your package shipped. Mm. So I can't really join in with you and going, yeah, man, that's bullshit. Like, no, it's really not, because I can pay Amazon more. You can click the I want day one, but yeah, you're probably going to pay another $15. I'm like, no, I already give you enough money a year for Prime, which, don't get me wrong, still an incredible value for what you get. Free 2-day shipping and all the extra little services you get with Prime. So by all means, I'm completely happy with paying, even though I know the price is going up and people are like, oh, it's bullshit. Like, not really.
The GameStop thing annoys me because a lot of times, a lot of companies, usually if you spend over a certain amount, they're like, yeah, we'll give you free shipping. Like, even Square Enix, like, will do it. And Square Enix is like, they're kind of bastards when it comes to that stuff.
Well, one of the places I order from, the NISA, the RPG company, I just ordered 2 things from them, and both of them, well, the second thing was $99, but maybe it's because I spent $99 and that's why I got it. But the first, so I'm sorry I had to cut you off there.
2 separate orders?
Yeah, because today came out the pre-order for Heroes of Cold Steel 3, and then I sent you the SNK, because remember I was bitching about that. I'm like, oh, the Switch gets that SNK Classics thing, and now nope, NISA is now making it for the PS4. I was like, easy sell. I want that SNK Classics for PS4. Bam, done.
Physical,
baby. But I had to pay for the whatever, like almost, it was like $5.99 for shipping. I was like, oh, okay.
No, you like your order total has, excluding tax and stuff, has to be. Yep. So that's why they sell you stuff for $99, because if you don't add something else on, we're not giving you free shipping.
So that's why it's like I'm so used to, and I don't, there's nothing I've needed day one. And the great thing is, hold on, folks, because you guys know I'm a Final Fantasy 14 nut. It's my comfort food. I love the way Square Enix does their MMOs. So I've bought in every one of their collector's editions for every expansion. We've only had 2 expansions. Our next one's coming out in June. And so it's like Final Fantasy 14 Shadow Walkers or whatever. They haven't even announced what they always do a collector's edition, and they usually always put what they call a Maester quality figurine for the collector's edition. So the Heaven's Ward one was of Midgar Somar. He's a dragon NPC story. He's story important to the expansion. And Stormblood, which is the one we're currently in now, we got one of the main bad guys, his Maester quality of his figurine. And then you usually get like in-game items and other shit to be like, hey, look, this guy bought a collector's edition. What a nerd. So as soon as I see that they have announced the pre-orders for the collector's edition for the 3rd expansion, I'm gonna do it. But the nice thing is, obviously, the collector's box and the physical stuff come later, which it's great because you still get a disc. They don't give you one of those empty steel books like, well, thanks, I have an empty steel book.
With a cardboard disc in it?
Exactly. Or like, here's your code disc. Nope. But I do like what they do is they go, okay, all you got to do is you'll get a code and you just have to register it on your account, your Final Fantasy account, and that'll tell. So they release the code out like a week early, so you can download it, and then kind of like Steam, can't quite download the rest until it goes live the day it's supposed to. But you can you basically preload it, ready to go, even though you don't have your physical stuff.
That's
so
cool.
It's like perfect. That's exactly what I want. And if I want, I can keep my collector's edition sealed. So I don't, I can if you're that person, I always like to open mine up, look at the statue, put it up for a little bit, and then put it back because I don't want too much dust on it. So, but I love that. I love the fact that I'm like last year or last expansion, me and my buddy, he came over and we took like 5 days off. We literally went to bed at like 8:00 at night because the servers went live at like 3-4 in the morning. And we were like, we're going to wake up, get the rest of the download going. We're jumping in.
Oh, yeah.
So sorry for that long rant, but yeah, so I'm kind of glad that that's the only type of pre-order that I like, hey, I don't have to worry that my physical goods are coming later. But otherwise, my Darksiders, 2 days, and you're like, I've never had that problem. I always get mine opening day. I'm like, I don't know how you get yours, but I don't.
I guess
at least live in the boonies.
Yep. I just wish GameStop would do that because Amazon can seem to do it. Well, if you're in the cities or whatever, but whatever. I digress. So yeah, Resident Evil 2 remake, of course. Actually came out 2 days ago, but and I think I might have mentioned it last time. The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 3. Has been released, which was picked up by crap. Let me look up the company name again. Season, because of course Telltale went under. They closed down, and Robert Kirkman, the writer of the Walking Dead, the comic series, his studio picked up the final season, grabbed most of the staff to try to finish it out, but they finally released episode 3, and then episode 4 I think is in March, and then that will be it for the Walking Dead video game series.
Well, there you go.
So there are 2 upcoming mentions from me.
One that I got that I was excited for, which just like Dragon Quest, guys, I'll get to it. Don't worry. The Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition remaster.
Yes, and I didn't know there was a collector's edition of that. There was.
Well, and it's now on eBay for $500, I bet.
Yeah,
I didn't know either, but or maybe I did, and I'm just like, at the time I was like, I just want to play the game again. I think I did look at the collector's edition. I was kind of like, maybe. I don't know what all came with it, but I was just like, no, because the normal games from Amazon was like $30.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just do the 30. Just whatever. I don't. There's so much coming out.
Yes.
obviously, like I said earlier, my Darksiders 3 that was in my quote high pre-order. That looks cool. Pre-order that. I'm just like, so. And well, the ones and so one that's on the way, it should be here tomorrow or Saturday. I was actually, might be a little bit of another Justin rant here. I'm sorry. You just tell me to poke me with a stick and tell me to shut up if you want me to. But I don't know why I got super, super, super excited, and I haven't felt this way in a while. So again, it was the same night I was just click pre-ordering, which I have no shame whatsoever. I will high Amazon shop and I will do it again. So I didn't even know it was coming out. I hadn't heard anything about it in years. The last time I knew there was one was for the PlayStation 2. If someone hears this and wants to correct me if I'm wrong, please do. But there I am all of a sudden, because when you start clicking on Amazon, it's like, hey, people that bought this, or hey, based on your previous stuff, you might like this. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it thought I wanted this, but I'm glad it did, because again, it was a great price. I'm like, you know what? For that price, I'm going to roll them dice. But Ace Combat 7.
Oh, sure.
I didn't even know it was a thing. And I was like, dude, I haven't played Ace Combat since like PS1 days. And I loved Ace Combat. So I was like,
I heard about that.
So there was like a big day one edition. It comes like a bunch of crap for the same price as it's, I was just like, you know what? I think it's like $40. I think I got it for through Amazon. So all of a sudden I saw, oh, hey, your Ace Combat 7 shipped. I was just like, you know what? I don't, I know the first 2 or 3 on PlayStation 1 were very mission. There wasn't no, whatever story they shoehorned in, Like, it wasn't like, oh, you're an epic pilot fight. And it was just like, no, mission 1, bomb this. But I liked the arcadey. I liked how you could like make money and buy better ships and buy decals for them and stuff. I was like, cool, I can be an F-14 Tomcat, or I can be a A-10, or, back in the day when I knew my jets. But it's just a fun little arcade shooter. I know it's gotten more and more in depth, and then I know when I've heard from people and YouTube stuff, when you start getting the PS2, maybe even the last one, the PS1, they started involving like a really good story with it.
Cool.
So I'm like, you know what? I loved Ace Combat. I'm doing it. I'll roll those dice. Let's do it, baby. So that should be here. Like I say, that should be here in the next couple of days. I might pop that in right away just to kind of see what it's about. Hopefully it's not, because I liked it because it was simplistic. It was just literally you could do it in first person mode, be in third person mode, and you're just flying around, dogfighting other jets, and like lock on. And the lock on system was super easy. Just like, reticles on it, missiles out, boom, done, splash one. When they start getting way too flight simulator, like, adjust your altitude, your thrust, and you gotta, when you have to start clicking to it, no, just let me move my analog stick, have thrusters and brake, missiles and guns. Like, I don't need much more than that.
Yeah.
I don't want Flight Simulator 2018 with combat attached to it. If I want to play Flight Simulator, I'll go get my little PC steering wheel and my little flight thing, and I'll play Flight Simulator. But I can't stand that game just because it's too slow for me. It's like, all right, this is Charlie 19, asking permission to take off. Go ahead, Charlie 19. Like, no, I don't want to. My part-time job is an online flight person. No. So super stoked for my Ace Combat 7. I don't know nothing about it. I haven't even bothered looking anything up to see if people are reviewing it and saying anything good about it. Don't even care. Just blind buy, roll them dice, baby.
Sweet. I think the next game coming out besides Resident Evil that I was kind of looking forward to is probably going to be towards the end of February, and I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about Anthem, the upcoming BioWare game. We got some more information. They put out some more trailers, gameplay, story trailers. I mean, it's basically Destiny, it's Warframe. It's more focused on very gameplay heavy, less story, which coming from BioWare is. I was hoping that there was going to be a strong narrative to this game. It looks like there is a story. I mean, games like Destiny does have a story, but much like a lot of MMOs, it's like you don't play it for the story. The story's there. Yeah, sure, you can enjoy it and whatnot, but it's just gameplay, and just I don't know. I want the game to be awesome. I love BioWare, but this just doesn't. just doesn't bode well with me. EA, like I could see EA all over this. We'll see. I'm still really on the fence about Anthem.
No, it'll be a game I'm gonna wait, like you say. I mean, I'm gonna wait, see, get a better feel from my go-to guys that I listen. Like Jim Sterling, obviously. Or I shouldn't say obviously, but he's one of the guys I really like. He has a good, solid opinion. A lot of his thoughts are like mine. So, but I just want to kind of see the gameplay and see what it is. I haven't been following much on it. I know of it. I know that it exists, but
everything about it looks really cool. I mean, like even Destiny, like I think Destiny looks pretty neat, but it's not really my thing. I'm not just the online shooter farming stuff. Like
it's Borderlands Online.
It's Borderlands Online without the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the story is really my draw, more so because I've spent years and years and years just playing online only shooters and stuff, and I've done it all before. Like I'm kind of over that, and that's why I really stick with my narrative heavy games now. Not saying that those games aren't fun, because they can be. I'm just a little bit more guarded. Well, like I said, Anthem, we'll see what happens. Basically, there's a couple people who there's this one person. She just goes. Her channel's just it's Ashe, ASHE. Her channel really became big during Dragon Age Inquisition. She did lots of like deep lore videos and stuff on that. And she checked this out, and essentially she's like, for the BioWare folks, like this isn't for BioWare people. Like BioWare folks are the game, the story heavy people. Like she's like the game's made well, and there's a lot of cool stuff, but there's not that part. She wouldn't come out and just say that she's not going to play the game, because it was kind of a sponsored video. Like she was flown out to check out the game and stuff because she made the last BioWare game, got a bunch of attention and stuff. So I don't know, whatever. Anthem, we'll see.
Obviously, like you say, Resident Evil 2. Or did you have more on that?
Nope.
Obviously, like you say, yeah, my next one, every more footage they put out, I don't like. Obviously, you probably like way more hardcore follow out and every little nugget of information you can get on RE2.
Blackout. Media blackout.
Really?
I've basically been media blackout the entire time.
Wow. Hardcore,
I watched
buddy.
the first full trailer that they put out, like sometime, I think it might have been E3 last year. I watched that, and I was like, okay, that's enough. I haven't watched any trailers or anything. I'm not playing the timed demo. I'm just gonna wait for the full game and just.
There's a demo?
Yeah, there's a demo out right now that you
cool.
You only get 30 minutes to play.
Wow.
And once you're done, once that time's up, you cannot play the demo anymore.
Oh, interesting.
You can't sit there and replay it. Like you get one shot and that's it. Which I think is it is pretty interesting to handle a demo.
I mean, I'm not going to go download it because we're so close to it. Like, I don't need to
it's next week. Next Friday.
So, in 2 Mondays from now for me.
Yeah, maybe for me too. Who knows with GameStop? I actually get it to me on day one.
But so Resident Evil 2 is coming out, so we're all excited for that. One of the pre-orders I just put in about, I think it was last week, and I shared it to church. I was like, was the SNK like collector's disc pack thing that the Switch got like a month ago. I was really super pissed. I'm like, wow, what a missed opportunity for a multi-platform. Like that's like that Sega Genesis classic thing that's made its rounds. Like it's been on I have my 360 copy, my PS3 copy. Now I have a PS4 copy because, if you're going to play a game on one, you're like, well, my PS3 is over there. My PS4 is here. I want one for each. So I've bought that damn thing 3 times. And so it's kind of weird though, but like it's been on so many different consoles, like I say, that specifically it's been on Xbox, it's been on I think there was even like a more generic version on the PS2 of a Sega class or some kind of Sega collection disc. And And it was like this SNK thing comes out. I'm like, why Nintendo exclusive? Like, that seems so stupid. First of all, it's got the smallest audience out of all the systems. Well, I should say it's number 2. I mean, it's beating Xbox, but that's not hard. But I mean, like, why not? It's just ROMs on a disc. Because
no Switch port, no buy.
Well, that's what they're so used to, is eating all the shit ports of everything. I don't know why they wouldn't wait. They should be actually getting the pre-order for theirs now. We should have ours out, and then they can eat our fucking...
One thing I will say, though, that I have noticed lately, whether it's an NIS release or if it's like a limited run release, the Switch versions of games are selling out. Switch version of the SNK collection, the collector's edition, sold out on the NIS site. The PlayStation 4 version still has like 75% stock available.
Well, yeah, because most people have both systems. Why do they want to buy it twice?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's the thing, is like...
But the limited, like I've been noticing, like limited run releases over the last few months, if they release a game for at the same time for Switch and PlayStation 4, the Switch one sells out immediately. PlayStation 4 limited run games sometimes have been on there for like a day or 2 days before they sell out for the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah, it's because people want Switch games because there's nothing to play on the damn thing.
could be.
What the hell? Honestly, what is there? Okay, minus. Okay, so you have now the Smash fanboys got their Smash. They're smashing it up. Do you even smash, bro? How many smashes do you smash? A smash. Smash it up. So up until Smash came out, you had Mario Odyssey, which I heard nothing but great things. And I'm gonna give half credit to Breath of the Wild because it came out on the Wii U as well. So if you didn't want to upgrade to a Switch, you could still enjoy that. So I'm not going to be like, oh, Switch exclusive. So half credit to Breath of the Wild. But Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and then recently Octopath Traveler, which I know not everybody's an RPGer, but like, I hear nothing but people complaining about the fucking Hey You Pikachu shit. They're like, oh, another like half a game. It's not like it's not long, it's not hard, it's Pokemon Go on the Switch is what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Although I've seen a lot of people like, I don't know. I'm surprised. Like the people I'm friends with and acquaintances, the amount of people that I've seen that were like legit. Like, I can't wait for Let's Go Pikachu, and they're hyping it. And the game comes out, and then like they played like 2 hours and like, oh yeah, this is amazing, and then nothing.
Yeah, it's like they just played Wii Bowling. They're like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. A week later. How about that Wii Bowling? Who cares?
Honestly, like at first I thought the concept sounded kind of neat for it. Hey, it's a remake of the original, just with more modern graphics. Oh wait, there's no battle system. You just chuck the ball and you catch them. It's like,
yep.
What? Huh?
Because Nintendo has just proven what Fallout 76 has proven.
But people won't play.
Take a shit in a box. You can take a shit in a box, and people will buy it on name recognition alone.
But people will be like, "Oh, Detroit Become Human. It's you don't do anything." It's like, well, what the fuck do you do in this Pokemon game then? It's like, you don't do anything. Like, they took out the whole gameplay. Like, that was the gameplay. Was the Pokemon? Like, isn't Pokemon about battling Pokemon? Why don't you battle Pokemon anymore? Like,
well, hell, at that point it is now with some of these games. I mean, even like you look at Dark Souls or even like older Resident Evils, once people got familiar with them, look at half the runs people do. Like, hey, I'm going to do a full run of Resident Evil 2. They run past everything. So you could say, well, it's Resident Evil 2. What do you do?
True. But you have the option of fighting. You don't even have the option of fighting.
No, and I get that. But what I'm trying to show is that a lot of games, if you break them down to their core fundamentals, even though they were designed for you to fight that mob, kill that mob, you can just run past them and it doesn't matter.
True.
Fuck it, who cares?
Like, I think one of the games, and I've spoken my love, like Left 4 Dead. I absolutely love Left 4 Dead. One of my favorite games ever, if not my favorite game of all time. it took a long time. It took many hours, but eventually people found out if you just run, you can just run through the entire level like almost with no problem. Just run. It only spawns so many zombies, and when you just run, oh hey, all those zombies are behind you. They're not going to spawn anymore in front of you. You just broke the game. Yep. And that's basically what kind of destroyed the multiplayer for it, was people would just gun it. And if they couldn't make it to the safe room, then they're like, poo-poo, rage quit.
Rage quit.
Yeah.
Anyways. And then that's not the fun of the game. The fun of the game is like, oh man, we got to mow these things down. Oh shit, a tank's coming, or a smoker's nearby. Yeah. Like that's the fun of it. Like, ooh, cat and mouse game. So I don't know. I just, I'm not saying boo on the Switch. Like I've said before, it's not the console I dislike, even though it's a glorified handheld. Fight me on that. It's fuck Nintendo, because Nintendo is literally phoning this in like they phoned in the Wii U. The system is a glorified Wii U, and Breath of the Wild proves it.
But they just added Zelda 2 to the online service.
Oh wow! Oh my god, that thing you have to pay, and then if you ever have an interruption in your service, you like get fucked on everything if you've had any cloud saves, because you get cloud storage when you sign up for their their PlayStation Plus or Xbox Gold equivalent. If you lapse and I'm only to buy 3 months and see if I like it, which it's kind of spendy per month wise. But if you lapse and if you only bought 3 months, let it lapse for a month and get it again, any cloud storage you have, gone.
I think because I thought that was the same case with like PlayStation 2 or PlayStation as well.
Nope.
You don't lose your cloud saves if your storage. Okay.
You just don't have access to it.
Okay.
Just like if any games you download,
if you really wanted to keep your cloud saves, you wouldn't let your service lapse.
Oh, but there could be a multitude of reasons why someone just if you don't buy like a year subscription like I do, because I for people, if you want a hot tip, if you have Facebook or you have to use Facebook, like the page Cheap Ass Gamers. They always have little like, hey, Target has a sale, blah blah blah, or hey, Best Buy is doing anytime there's like a like you can buy the Sony cards or Xbox cards like 12 months, 6 months, whatever, they'll allow it, a couple times a year. There's always some website or something that's like, hey, they got year cards like for $39.99.
Yep.
Boom, you're saving yourself like $25-$30.
Yep. Cheap Ass Gamer, Facebook, and they're also on Twitter as well.
All you gotta do is like them, and they don't overpost. So it's not like 50 posts a day, like some, those. It's just, I maybe get like 1 or 2 a week. Like, oh, hey, this game, they would be the type of people to tell you like Fallout 76 dropped half price. Go get your copy today. Yeah. So it's kind of nice. You're like, oh shit, or hey, this collector's edition of this game you might not have known about. Yep. Here's where you can go get that. And it's like, oh, cool.
Yep.
So there's your gaming pro tip of the week. So, let's see. But no, so anyway, back to the original thing. So I got the SNK collectors. I'm just very happy it came to PS4 because there's a lot of cool arcade games I remember. Plus, the weird thing is, because they make it seem like they focus on like the arcade aspect of SNK, but then they have Crystalis from Nintendo. I'm like, that was an arcade game, but I'm glad it's there. I love Crystalis. So pre-ordered that, and then I showed Church today because I'm a member of NISA Online. I have an account there. I've bought some collector's editions and stuff. It was like Legends or Heroes of Legends, Cold Steel 3 pre-order. I'm like, yep, no-brainer. Just took a screenshot like, hey, Church, guess what? He's like, oh, cool. I don't know if he cared or if he even wanted it, but I'm like, boom,
I have Trails of Cold Steel, the first one for PS3. I've had people in the past. One of my friends, he's not doing YouTube anymore, and he's not really online anymore. Southern Star Gamer or Throwback Gaming. He's like, yeah, this is one of the best RPGs that's come out in many years. He's like, you have to play this game. So I was like, okay, I picked it up. It was on sale. I grabbed it. And I've seen a lot of people say that like the Trails of Cold Steel games are amazing. The previous series, Trails in the Sky.
Yep.
Is that? I hear that one's supposed to be amazing too.
And then even earlier of them are the Legend of Heroes games on the PSP.
Yep. I think I have one on the DS actually that I got from a friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it's a long running series, but I hear the Trails of Cold Steel and Trails in the Sky in particular are supposed to be like.
There's no
awesome.
DS game.
Huh?
There's no DS game.
Okay, maybe it's PSP then.
Yeah, they're exclusively to Sony.
Okay. Well, I got the PSP one then.
I was going to say, I'm like, how do I not know about this?
Yeah. But yeah, the 3, I saw that and I was like, ooh, collector's edition of. Should I pick up a collector's edition that I'm probably not going to be able to play for years because I'm going to insist on playing the first 2 first, and who knows when I'm going to get to those?
Well, I own them both. I own both collector's versions on the Vita. I never bought the PS3 one because I'm just like, do I really need another version of the first one? Yeah. So I didn't buy I'm not one of those like I have to have every iteration. No.
Yeah, I got the Lionheart edition or something.
Yeah, so I got that edition on the PSP or on the Vita. And then they're putting them on PS4, so I already got those pre-ordered on or Amazon. And it's weird because they're both out, but they're separating them like almost by a month release. So like the first one comes out, I think, February, like middle or end of February, and then it's like the end of March when the next one comes out. I'm like,
it's probably.
I wonder why they're staggering the release of those.
Because people, unlike us, a lot of people don't buy as many games, and if it probably increases their chances of people buying both games if they stagger the releases.
True. And then I was really kind of surprised that all they're doing is like I don't think they're like doing anything. They're not like remastering it or it's just nope. It's already good. They're just making it so it doesn't like get stretch-o-vision, fat-o-vision when you play on your console. So I think it's just a port, but it's done so it transfers over well. But I was really surprised. Like, okay, you're releasing both. Why not do because like the Vita, when you bought the first one on Collector's Edition, it came with a box that had a spot for the second one. So when you bought, there was no Collector's Edition of the second one. You just bought it, and then the game would slip in the box. So it was a nice little collector's 2-pack. So I'm like, I was actually kind of surprised now that I start thinking about it. I'm like, why didn't they do that for the PS4 one? That would have made sense. You could either, hey, you can buy them both separately if you want, or you can buy get like everything, throw a soundtrack or throw some art cards that I'm never going to look at. When I open it up, oh, neat, back in the box you go.
Sure.
So. But yeah, so I pre-ordered that. That says it comes out later this year. It had a ton of swag though for the NISA site.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of like, if you pre-order all this swag's like 20% off. So I was like, there's a hoodie, a coffee mug, like there was like a $249. I don't know what it was, like a glissy. It's like GLICEE.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what a glissy is. I was like, what the hell is that? It looked like just a painting.
Yeah, they're just high quality painting or wall scroll kind of thing.
But yeah, I mean, I was just really surprised when I'm like, that's a lot of swag. Like,
yeah, and it's only
a lot of swag.
It's only $100 too, which I was like,
well, the paint, yeah, the collector's set comes with like a steel book, soundtrack, some art cards, and a collector's box, obviously. So I was like, okay, for 90. I mean, when they start getting to like 140 and more, there has to be like something really cool I want there. Otherwise, I'm like, nope, I'll just buy the regular edition.
Yeah.
So, not gonna get me this time.
Yep. So then let's see.
And then also Devil May Cry. What 5 or 6 is coming out soon?
Yep, that's in March. Another game I'm looking forward to, I'm leaning towards I'm going to get it, but I need to see just a little bit more. Is a game released at the end of February called Left Alive. This is essentially it. Even though I haven't played any of the It's not Armored Core. It's another.
Front Mission?
Front Mission, yes. It's based in the Front Mission universe, but it's third person shooter game.
Mm-hmm.
They have the artist that did like all the Metal Gear artwork
Nice.
He's involved, but the game looks pretty neat. It kind of has a Metal Gear-ish kind of look to it. And then, there's mecha play in the game. So I thought it looked kind of interesting. So I'm, something to look out for. It's called Left Alive.
Okay.
And then, go ahead.
No. I was. That's another. I mean, I own all the front missions that are available to me, and I'm just like, But this is kind of goes into the. I'm not the hugest strategy RPG guy. I mean, I know. Everybody, calm down. Tactics was amazing. I know. We don't have to talk about it. I'm sure a lot of you people love Fire Emblem. I've said why I don't like Fire Emblem, not because of its system, not because of it itself, but I don't like the healer healed one person, so they get single. It's like, no, I've been so indoctrinated over the years of, no, I have a party, we fight as a party, we gain experience as a party, not, you did more damage than that guy, so here it works. No, I hate that shit. And you can't grind in Fire Emblem games from what I understand, so. But
I've never played any of the front mission games.
But they're just like that. They're strategy RPGs.
Gotcha. This one's more. I think this one's more shooter-ish.
Okay, so almost like a Mech Warrior game.
Yeah, Mech Warrior meets Metal Gear. Basically, it's kind of the impression that I got.
Is it a full-fledged game or like an indie game?
Full-fledged game.
So it's from Square Enix?
I believe so.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Did you, as a side note, sorry to, I know you had some momentum. Did you like those? Do you like mech games?
I haven't really played much mech games. Only ones I think I have are the Zone of the Enders games.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was building towards. Like,
I haven't played them yet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was maybe my question.
PlayStation 2, I missed out on a lot of PlayStation 2 stuff. And I'm kind of disappointed because, being the Kojima fanboy that I am.
Yeah, Zone of the Enders was fun. That's why I was like, well, if you kind of like mech games, I wonder if you liked those. But that's surprising you haven't played them, but okay.
Okay. Someday I can't.
They're on your shelf, aren't they?
Yes. Yes, they are.
If you're looking for something to pop in and just kind of, because it's nice, because it's you can get as invested as you want. You don't have to be like, oh my god, I gotta clear my schedule for this. But no, you don't.
No, yeah, totally. So then, kind of moving into March on what I'm looking at, anyways. I think the next game that, again, I'm kind of on the fence. I'll be more encouraged to get it if there's a physical version. Is the Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove, the new Toe Jam and Earl game? Which I was like, yeah, that it's very comparable to the first one. Hand drawn art style and everything. Looks like they, it's kind of like a more of like for the fans sort of deal. And I was like, hey, that could be cool. We'll see what happens.
Did you ever play the one for the Xbox?
I didn't.
They had some funny lines in that one because, like, if I remember correctly, because you'd have to go to people's houses. There was like a bunch of houses you could go to. It was funny because you could like knock on the door and he'd be like, "Trick a damn treat. Where's my damn treat?" My buddy found that hilarious.
I don't think I've ever. Well, honestly, I don't look at Xbox stuff a whole lot when I'm game hunting.
Of course,
but I never see that one. Unfortunately, because if I would, I probably would grab it.
I can't even think of what the flavor text for the game is. Like Toe Jam and Earl, whatever it was called. I don't even know. My buddy who I played Halo with, he's the big Xbox guy, and he was also a huge Sega guy back in the day because we had Nintendo, he had Sega, and he loved Toe Jam and Earl, loved it. Even number 2, which I didn't care for as much. I liked the original one because it was just such a unique concept to me. Like, you walk around, you get these weird presents that may have cool powers in them. And he's like, oh my god, dude, they made a new Toe Jam and Earl on the Xbox. And of course, no brainer, like bought it right away. And we played it like that entire weekend. And it was interesting. So,
sure.
I just wish I could remember more of it though. Oh, sorry, that was it.
Yeah, no. So I guess on to you. Back to you.
Oh boy. Like I said, I thought I had Devil May Cry as one of my drunken are my high pre-orders, but I went and checked because I was like, I don't really need that. I think that was more like, it looks pretty, I'll put it on there. And nope, it's not on my list. So I think what do I have? Because it was like, I saw the total because it was kind of funny. I'm like, hey, I'm spending $350 on pre-orders, but I'm not spending it because they don't charge you until they send it. So yeah, so Tales of Vesperia, Ace Combat, both the Cold Steels on PS4, Darksiders 3. I think that pretty much might wrap it up for me in terms of then the 2 pre-orders I just talked about.
Okay.
So if there's anything I'm missing that's like huge coming, I'm assuming there's no new news of release for Kojima's game.
No, nothing yet. That one's probably still going to be a little while out, and there's suspicions that might be a PS5 game.
Ugh.
So we'll see.
Has there been any updates on when Bloodstain's coming out?
Bloodstain, I think, is the end of this year.
Okay. Last time I heard something, it was like maybe the summer of this year.
This fall or something, I'm not sure. But there are a few other games coming out in March that I have interest in. Of course, Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. That's the one
I pre-ordered. Thank you.
I am getting the collector's edition for that.
What comes with that?
Statue of the dude.
Nice.
So, and it wasn't super expensive. I think it was like 120 or.
Oh, that's not bad.
I can't remember. It might have been. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. But then there was another game that I don't know a whole lot about, but the things that I saw, there's a trailer, and I thought it looked pretty neat. It's called The Sinking City, and it's basic. I want to say this was going to be like a new, essentially like a Call of Cthulhu game. It's another like Lovecraftian game.
Yep.
And I thought it just looked really neat. I think this is the one where they have some interesting transitions between like the city you're in and like it floods and stuff happens. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it. It's a little ways out, so I haven't really delved too much into it. But it's definitely on my radar.
Okay.
And then there's some other like random games for March, but yeah, then then I think we're getting a little far out. But there's all kinds of stuff being released in like April, June. There's the Final Shovel Knight, Mortal Kombat 11, Days Gone, so on and so forth.
So
we'll get there eventually.
So in 2 weeks, when you get your Resident Evil, is that like that's your weekend? Nothing's gonna stop you.
Not necessarily. I do want to play it as much as I can, but Resident Evil is one of those games that I'm gonna potentially savor it. I don't know if I'm just gonna blast through. Like I do plan on, I'm gonna play through as Claire and Leon. But it's not a spoiler necessarily, but now they've been sharing screenshots that the Hunkin Tofu will. I was
gonna, because you said you had done many blackouts. I was gonna say, do you want to know that what they're doing? So,
and I don't know. I haven't seen any information. I haven't really looked. I don't know if they're going to be locked behind the same criteria that they were in original Resident Evil 2, which was I never achieved. I was never able to get to the games fast enough to unlock the characters because it was like, I think Tofu, you had to beat the game in like 2 hours or something.
I thought you just had to beat the game 4 times and get S rankings.
I thought that was Hunk.
Oh, okay.
I think Tofu is the harder one to get. But I never did. I never got either of them. I never bothered playing through the 4 times. I did just basically the one run through.
Yep. That was
and I don't know if I ever got S rankings because that's like that's based on time and amount of saves, I think.
Correct. And how many times you use a heal can.
Okay.
You can use herbs, but you can't use the first aid spray.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. Or I know at least, I know for sure number 2 specifically is based off time and saves. I want to say heal first aid sprays, but number 1, yes. Like if you used more than 1 first aid spray, your ranking, you could never get an S ranking. You could use 1. So you had to rely on herbs and your
Couldn't
elite skills.
Yeah, I could never do that. I will say when I played through Resident Evil 2 just I think it was last weekend? I played through Claire's. Like, not as difficult. It's been a while since I last played it. Not as difficult. Like, I saved way more than I needed to. Like, I didn't die. Or I think I died once, and it was my own fault because I was being stupid. For the most part, like
stupid.
Most of the liquor encounters, I was just like, yeah, fuck you guys. I just run right by them, kind of stuff. Like I took out most of the zombies.
Can't catch me.
But yeah, most of the liquors I ignored unless like I was feeling like I'm stocked. Oh, I got a grenade launcher and 24 rounds.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm taking out these liquors. But yeah, I could have definitely not got away with not saving anywhere as much as I did. Because there's a lot of times you're like, I've just done 10 minutes of gameplay and now I'm back in a save room. Should I save again? Yeah, sure, why not? It's like, I don't need.
I honestly, I think out of all the Resident Evil games, I really kind of hated that. I hated not the amount of saves, but the saving process, because it was, I have to equip an ink ribbon, go to the typewriter, choose a slot. Is this what you want to do? Yes, game. This is what I want to do. Like, I didn't just fucking save the game.
I didn't mind it too much. Even just redoing, like, because I don't carry ink ribbons on me. I just throw them in storage and run and grab one when I want to save. And it's never really been anything that bothered me too much. But that's me.
It's a minor inconvenience, but it slows the pace down. So it's just do you want to save? Yes. I mean, that's why they even realized, okay, it was neat for the first one, but like 3 and then on, they're like, just if you want to save the fucking game, save it. Yeah. Exactly. Like, neat concept, like, oh, you need this item to save, but it's like, and like you say, everybody threw them in the storage bins. So
I think it added another kind of like level of challenge. Like, games today, like, auto saves after the simplest tasks and stuff, like, no fail games basically. So it's just another thing that could potentially put you in a corner if you were playing poorly. I don't know. Whatever.
No, I agree, but
yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't really looked at much. I didn't play the demo. I didn't watch anybody playing the demo or talking about the demo. I'm sure they changed the save system to make it a little bit more convenient. I don't know if there's auto saves. I would probably imagine there's probably auto saves in the new one, so I'm not too worried about it.
All right, fair enough.
But for the next few months, I think that mostly covers the things that I'm kind of looking out for.
Now, when you play Resident Evil, do you do anything? Since, like, I know you've been, like, I think a lot of the games that have been coming out in the last, like, I don't know, maybe I'd say fair enough to be like 6 months. I know you were psyched for Tomb Raider, psyched for Dragon Quest. You played both of them. They're under your belt. They're done. But I mean, you've been like, when you knew Resident Evil 2 remake, you were just like, dude, whose dick do I got to suck to get a copy? Like, now. And so I just, like, is it kind of a big deal for you? Or do you do like I turn off all the lights, I try to get as creepy feeling as possible, especially with the new perspective in this game?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know my game room. It's relatively dark, even during the day. So, I don't play a horror game with lights on. Like, no, I don't play many games with the lights on, period. Like, I like to, eliminate outside distractions if I'm just going to sit and play a game by myself. Basically, as soon as I get the collector's edition delivered, I'm pretty much immediately going to try to film an unboxing video, because that's, I like doing unboxing videos, even though, it's an unboxing video. Most people don't care or don't like them.
Hey, people care.
I don't care. I'm going to do that. And then, hopefully, it gets to me early in the day or something and not, late at night. Hopefully I get it next Friday. I mean, that's the main thing. I'm hoping I paid all this extra money. God damn it, GameStop. give me that game on release day, please. And then I can play it all night. And I will probably play it all Saturday. And I will probably play it all.
I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm done.
Probably, I'm probably going to binge play it, most likely. Let's be honest.
It's gonna be like a fine wine. I'm gonna just little sips. I'm gonna fucking blow through that fucker.
That's probably what's gonna happen. I've been on this like pace with some games lately, and it's like Jesus. But I the longer I take on the game, the less I'm playing my backlog, and not saying I can't fully enjoy it. I'm not going to rush through the game, but I'm going to play the game probably nonstop as much as I can because I love Resident Evil. I mean, it was. I know when we did the hangout, was it last time you were playing through some Resident Evil 2? It was great seeing that, but like for me, replaying the game myself was like, man, I was like, oh, I love this game. People in their hate for tank controls. It's like, get good, man. It took me a few minutes to get readjusted because it's been a while, but I don't know, it's fun. Like, I played it on the. Actually, I don't know if I caught this before, but if you play your PlayStation 1 games on the PlayStation 3, it automatically puts it into full screen and puts on smoothing every single time you turn on the game. It doesn't autosave that function, so essentially it stretches the image and kind of, I don't know. Some people like smoothing. I hate smoothing because it gets rid of your pixels. Resident Evil is very pixelated around the faces and stuff. And smooth kind of like blotches it up a little bit.
Sure.
And I mean, I think it looked great on playing it on my HD TV because you can do the standard. The full screen will stretch it just a little bit. It still does black bars on the side, so it's not completely like squished 16:9, but it's not 4:3. If you shut that off and turn off smoothing, that's a great looking game. But it's funny too because I mean, I remember when the game first came out and we're like, holy crap, this looks so good. And Claire's face is like a peach blotch with here's a couple squares that say her eyes are here. Her bangs are like, jaggy squares next to each other. I think the game looks fine. Still, people with it doesn't hold up. It's like, well, it came out 20 years ago. But I think it looked fine. But it's funny, just kind of sometimes going back, when you haven't necessarily really delved into a game in a long time. Like when I saw you playing it on my CRT, I was like, oh yeah, it looks pretty good. But I wasn't playing it firsthand, so I wasn't like super focused on a lot of the finer details of like the backgrounds and the animation, things like that. But replaying it myself, it's like a lot of stuff really stands out again. And this is it's neat.
Yeah. Oh, that looks neat. Just that strikes me as funny.
Yeah. So I guess then, and that actually will kind of pretty much cover it for what we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Moving into community questions. That was our community question for last week was what games were you most looking forward to in 2019? Sorry, I usually try to copy comments, but I didn't do it this time. So I'm just scanning through real quick. Can always count on Do You Nerd. Thank you, Tom and Lacey. They said games they're looking forward to. Hardly able to answer that. They're mostly eyeballing their ever-growing backlog. True that. They got
preach.
So they're really focused on catching up with Assassin's Creed, Tomb Raider, and God of War first, and I don't blame you for that. Actually, was that? Back in the day gamer said the game he's looking forward to playing in 2019, Final Fantasy 3 for the first time, or Final Fantasy 6.
Oh,
whatever.
No, I kind of got excited. I was like, oh, Final Fantasy 3, weirdly enough, is like really risen in my ranks of favorite Final Fantasies. But 6, yeah, okay.
It's I fucking love Final Fantasy 6.
I'm not saying it's bad. It wasn't. It's
6 is my favorite Final Fantasy, hands down. Hands down.
I feel like the assholes who like 7 is overhyped. I'm sick of hearing about 7.
I love 7.
As how I feel kind of about 6. Like 6 is great. I like 6. I played 6. I own 6.
You're a 4 guy though.
I'm a 4 guy, but
One of those guys.
Yep. Well,
you guys, I don't understand the 4 guys. It's like, this is pretty solid, but 6 did everything better and more.
Mode 6 is terrible, or mode 7 is terrible. No, it's obviously 6 is, it was the crowning achievement of the Super Nintendo era. 4 had a better soundtrack, I thought. I thought the color palettes were better because obviously Final Fantasy 6 is more based around a lot of doom and gloom, so it's a lot more grays and earth tones, where 4, you're going all these different colorful places. And
I mean, 6 didn't have a fucking space whale, so there's that.
Yeah, but you had to go through 2 different airships and a makes no sense, boring ass opera scene that you can't skip.
Love the opera scene.
Oh, bullshit! You're such a liar. You are such a liar.
No.
Liar, I call you.
First, that game like seriously like blew my mind in every aspect when I originally played it. Like the opera scene, I loved it. There was like certain songs in particular like that don't like sit with me as well as they did then. What was it? I always forget the name of the city, the Zozo.
Mm-hmm.
The music for that is funny. So back in the day, I didn't really know. Like I didn't have. So that was a rental for me many times before I actually was able to get the game on myself for myself. So like I couldn't necessarily just fire up the game and like go to this town and listen to music. So what I used to try to do, and it was kind of creative, but it sounded like ass, was my sister actually had one of those like little Fisher Price tape recorders that had like a little tape recorder with a microphone. Yep. So what I would do is I would get that, put a blank tape in, hit record, and I would hum essentially, or like, try to like mouth or like, sing the music. And then I'd do a track. So it'd be like the bump, 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 like backing track. So then I'd take the tape out, I put it in my stereo, and then I'd take the Fisher Price tape recorder, and I'd get up next to the stereo, I'd play the stereo, and then I would do the next track. So I'd like layer the tracks to try to recreate the music and stuff. Oh man, like seriously.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved Final Fantasy 6, and I loved the opera scene. That was like mind blowing at the time. There's nothing like that. Like
for what though? What was mind blowing? It
was just really. It was.
Setzer stole the star. Oh, you look close enough.
The lengths that they took to of this narrative, like they really. I mean, Final Fantasy 4 took things pretty far too, but is what it is. I mean, we like what we like.
Oh, I'm not saying you're. That's the thing. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I
was like, why do you like it? That was what got me.
Oh, it's just kind of just unique, very unique. Just the whole situation too. They're trying to dupe this this famed gambler with an airship to kidnap this opera singer because they heard that he has a thing for her, so we're gonna swap places and we're gonna trick him, and then all of a sudden you got fucking the octopus guy, Ultros. He shows up and the whole battle scene. I don't know. I love it. I love it.
All right. I just thought you were just saying it to just kind of spite it. Like, no, fuck you. Don't tell me you love it.
Yeah.
But if you do, hey,
No,
for me, it was, especially at the time I played it and beat it the first time when I was younger, it just felt like, why do I care that we have to hear her go, oh. Like, I'm not saying I needed full lyrics from a real, because it's Super Nintendo, but I was like, the world is crumbling around us, the Empire is whooping our ass, and we have to stop and have an opera night. Okay.
It was all part of the plan. The Duke Setzer. Got to dupe him, man. He's got a boner for an opera singer.
Well, got to do what you got to do.
Sure. So I think that was all we had for other comments of what people are looking forward to. I did not prepare a community question for this week / next week. So I don't know what to tell you folks. So we'll come up with a community question next week. So y'all get a break.
No, I got one.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
Okay, what you got?
And I'll even look at the responses if you guys do it.
Okay.
All right, folks. Question of the week for you little commenters is, I don't know what the opposite for the term is, so maybe if you know, you can tell me, but who is your video game waifu, or I guess husband-fu, if you're a female gamer?
Okay.
So since I'm not going to be here next time to answer, I'm going to answer now. And since Church has been to my house and he's seen things, I'm going to see if you can guess. Who would you think, just in video games, not anime, not comics, only in the realm of video games? Who do you think my waifu is? Oh, yep, there you go. Tifa Lockhart. So
cool.
Just spent a lot of in-game resources on Brave Exodus.
I think it's waifu and husbando.
Husbando? Okay.
Husbando.
I've never heard the opposite term. It's always been, that's best waifu, or that's waifu.
I think it's husbando.
So if you're a female gamer, who's your husbando?
Yes.
It sounds ridiculous to even say it. Like,
husbando.
Your husbando.
Well, it's a waifu.
I know, but that just sounds
husbando.
making waifu just sounds enough, because it's like you got weeaboo, you got otaku. It just sounds like it fits. Like, oh, who's your waifu?
Husbando.
So yep, that's that. And so he nailed it. Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII. I have a T-shirt, a hoodie, a poster, both her official release statue figurines that I paid good money for. I bought Final Fantasy right before Christmas happened. Actually, like right before Thanksgiving, had Fan Fest in Vegas. For whenever they do a Fan Fest, they always do a big like release in game of like some kind of item. Granted, it's through the pay store, but it's really cool. So Cloud's motorcycle got made into one of the mounts in the game.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Then the Tifa Lockhart minion. So I'm like, she's out right now as I'm crafting. Well, just like, wow, your little minions, they follow around and they just, dick around and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Got her.
Cool.
She just got released in Final Fantasy Brave Exodus, which is the phone app. I spent a good amount of resources getting her up to her most powered up form. I'm just like, yep, any iteration I can have Tifa. And
Tifa's awesome. I will agree.
So if you look like Tifa and you like semi-chubby gamers, hit me up. I'm looking for just saying, any single girls out there that look like Tifa. I'm thirsty. All right, shut up.
Yeah, so then I think I will move us into our closing little bit here, and cast these last 6 months. I think it's been about 6 months, somewhere around there. It's been a lot of fun. I always enjoy our discussions. I mean, basically, for those who don't know us, these are very similar conversations that we have when we hang out.
Yeah.
Me and Justin, we can go for hours sometimes, just like on the same topics. We we have some good chats. And
and believe you me, sometimes they are not in the friendly manner. I don't mean like we don't like get angry at each other, but it's usually like, you're fucking wrong, dude. I don't care. You're just fucking wrong.
We get a little heated sometimes, but it's fun.
Yes, it's all in good fun.
But yeah, a huge thanks for joining. And pretty much you have an open invitation to join the podcast at any point. Of course, we're still friends. We still hang out and stuff. He's just a little busier, and I respect your need for free time, and best of luck. And I think
thank you.
You're making some good decisions. So I totally support it. So,
well, like I say, if my situation, I mean, like, just so everyone knows, like, I don't have like cancer or anything. I just basically the short version is I'll give you guys the in my heyday of collecting, I would literally, if I saw it, I actually feel ashamed, but it's actually gotten me some really good deals and some really cool shit. When someone taught me that there were online Facebook groups that buy, sell, and trade, better than eBay, I was like, oh, what? He's like, well, are you kidding me? Because I used Facebook like everyone else. Oh, it's just neat and whatever. I didn't know there was groups and shit. Anyway, I charged a lot. Like, I saw I wanted, I credit carded it. So I'm paying that back now, and that's what it's. So no health problems or anything. Just I got a second job, trying to pay that off as fast as I can, and I need to find a place to move in within a year. So the faster I can get that loan paid off, the faster I can afford to live on my own. And then I'll have all the free time in the world, because then I won't rely on a second job, even though it's a real easy second. I work for a mom and pa retro game shop. So I literally clean, fix systems, and tell soccer moms what to get their chronic bedwetting 7-year-olds on the Wii. So little Clerks joke, but
yes.
But yeah, no, it's a fun job, and they pay me well. So
right on.
I'll be back. Don't worry, whether you like it or not. And fuck Nintendo, just in case you forgot how I felt about that.
For sure. And for any listeners who might be considering or going to the Midwest Gaming Classic 2019, we will both be there.
Yes, we will.
So hit us up if you're going, and we aren't already talking about it. So
yeah, Black Metal Gamer, get your fucking ass out there.
Well, he's in Northern California. He's got
I don't care. He's in Northern making Excusica. I don't want it.
You heard it here, folks. BMG just got called out.
Get your ass out there, buddy, so we can have a beer.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be a good time for sure. So yeah, I think that is going to do it for this episode of the Game Tenants Podcast. As always, thank you very much for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
It's been fun.